Yes, welcome to Norton and Friends.
Wow.
My Greg and Tony are sitting in today. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Yes, Matt.
Matt Paxton from Hoarders.
Look at that,
guys.
Freaking Matt. It's right here now. Look at you. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, how does
thanks
my
for
little
coming.
area look?
It's a little messy. It's a little messy.
Well, we need a professional organizer to come in and.
I clean up shit. I don't clean up papers.
No. I don't know how you do your job.
Well,
I mean,
I'm kind of stuck. Now it's my thing. I mean, I kind of have to. Even if I don't like it, I'm in.
It's
I'm all in.
become your thing. Like, you're the guy that will climb on top of a mountain of literally shit.
Yeah.
And be like, well, I don't know. You got your respirator on. You're like, I don't know what the fuck. This is shit. I'm climbing on it. It's astounding what the situations you get.
I love it. And I mean, the best one for me was that lady that literally about 5 pounds of shit.
Yeah.
I was talking to her, literally. I mean, just a pile of her diapers. And I was saying, so what? I mean, I was just sitting there. I was like, so what's going on? Like, what I get now, it's easy to shit in the corner. But the first time, what made you do it? And as I'm telling her, like, all of a sudden the house starts to shake left and right. And then all of a sudden the house starts to go up and down. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? An earthquake.
Yeah.
Literally, that earthquake that hit D.C. a couple months ago. I'm standing on 5 feet of this lady's crotch.
My God.
Shit.
And then there's a 300-pound camera guy right behind me standing in the tub. And I realized, I was like, I'm going to go through the floor.
Yeah.
This lady's shit is going to land on top of me. And then the fat camera guy is going to land on top of me and kill me.
Oh, wow.
And I just freaked. And I mean, we started running. I just said to the lady, I said, that's the worst way to die,
Yeah.
under your shit. I was like, I don't
You guys
wanna
got
die.
video of this?
Oh, yeah, it was on, it was on the show.
It was on Hoarders.
See, I can't watch the show. It hits
Why?
too close to home with the
Does
fucking
it?
mental illness bullshit.
How annoyed do you
I
get
know
at
it's a
them?
great show, and I do take a peek.
Fantastic.
you
I
annoyed?
can't
Our
stop.
super fan.
I am a super fan of
He
Hoarders.
loves it.
I love tweeting during the episodes.
You're my Monday night now, man. I always see what you're tweeting
It's
during the show.
fantastic.
So why
It's
don't you
just-
get Ant to be part of the show?
Oh, he would destroy the
you
show.
go through one
That's
of
the
these-
last person I would let on the
He
show.
hoards hatred.
Have him do a ride along. Will you do a ride along to one of these?
Come
No,
doing in the city. We do in the city. You can come clean one with us. Sure.
I like
I would
being
go.
safely in front of my television and watching you guys do it.
Could you invite us?
Yeah, you come to a private one, just not a TV one. Yeah.
Oh, you do private ones?
Yeah, my
Oh, I
business,
just-
clutter cleaner. We do all. We
Oh,
have them all over
stupid
the
me! I
state.
just thought you were a TV star and you didn't actually have to.
He actually does this.
I do this
Yeah,
for. Look, I was doing this for $12 an hour when I started, and just I mean, I didn't know anything
Braggart.
about TV. I was living on a buddy's couch.
Really?
Making
Wow.
money. Yeah.
How annoyed are you at some of these people? Like not the ones who are like, look, it's time to clean up here, but the ones that just resist it and the selfishness.
I forget that it's a disease sometimes. I mean, you get really, especially when they're
Is
like
it?
screaming it. It is. It really is. I swear to God, it is. When they
We argue that point with what's his
It
name all
is,
the
but there's
time.
I
also
know.
a self-centeredness
Yeah,
that
but to
has
a
to be
point,
addressed.
Well, there is. I mean, you get some.
You
Or
need
I had a guy.
self-awareness.
There was a guy named Randy from Wildwood, New Jersey. He was called Randy Land. This guy had the most amazing collection. You do watch that? This guy had over 100,000 antique pinball machines. Like, it's the most amazing.
100,000 machines.
He bought a bunch of old Dwayne Reeds and filled them. He made a pinball museum. Like, it's amazing. He's got a whole block in Wildwood, which is easy to do these days. But, I mean, it was fascinating. But he had a disorder, but he's also an asshole. Like that, and that is separate. That has nothing to do with the disease. And he was, we were yelling at each other, and we had it out. And Andy didn't air that part, but I finally just said, look, man, you can be. You can have a mental disorder, but right now you're just an asshole, and there's no excuse for that. And I lost it on that guy.
Why do you want to?
It's how you bring it in. You bring it in this way,
But
sideways.
it's all part of the solution.
Do they
You
want
have
to
go
throw out
through
the
it.
pinball machines or no? If it's
No, he just didn't. He thought he knew everything. He was the smartest man in the world, and no matter what I did to help him, he was not interested.
Well, why do they need help?
That sounds more like a collection than a mental illness issue.
Well, he's lost everything in his life. He has no family. He has no friends. He has
'Cause of dumb
nothing.
pinball machines?
'Cause
He's
of
an
pinball
asshole.
machines, yeah.
That's why.
He's an
That's an
asshole, yeah.
asshole.
Yeah.
Was it? Is it a legitimate museum? The pinball machines?
Yeah,
or
it's
no?
bad. I mean, it's the most amazing place I've ever been. It's. I mean, I always say. I mean, I still talk to him all the time now, and he's become a really good friend actually. And he. I mean, I'm like, the world needs to see this. It's such an amazing thing.
Oh, it's not open to the public?
No, it's a museum, but it's only open for himself because no one else is worthy of seeing this museum.
Oh my God, he's such an asshole.
He can't help it.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, wait a minute, you built a museum for one person. He's like,
Yeah,
yes.
just
I
for
lost
him.
everything to get to that point.
Everything.
I'm sorry. Is it set up well? Like, could it actually be open for the public?
I don't know if you could get insurance because it's so tight. I mean, like, you couldn't be 7 foot. 7 foot guy couldn't walk through there.
Yeah.
But it's better than museum quality. It's amazing. He's got this one area where he has 100 skee-ball machines lined up, and then behind it he has the old shooter pinball games. And the old antique where you have the bat and hit the baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
There's a whole line of them. There's a whole line. You hit them in the upper deck.
Yep.
He has a whole line of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he had his one thing where he claps, and one pinball machine comes on, and then once you roll the ball, as soon as it goes into one of the holes, then they all go on a half-second timer. It goes, and it goes all as far as you can see, all the way down the wall. I mean, he set it up.
That's pretty wild.
It's
yeah.
amazing. I mean, I'm sure it took him 10 years to put this thing together by himself.
for
Couldn't he
no
get
one
more
to
money?
see.
If he charged people to come see it,
They don't care about money.
he's afraid of breaking. He's afraid they're going to break things.
Yes.
Or they're going to scuff it or make it not perfect.
Yeah.
But he can get more money to buy more shit.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. It's never about the money.
No.
It's all about that's what. I
Oh,
mean, he
that's
could make
fucked up.
millions. He could make millions.
How many
Really?
Dwayne Reeds does he have full of? How many Dwayne Reeds?
2, and then he has like 30 more 18-wheelers full.
30 18-wheelers.
Of
Full.
pinball
And I never even
machines.
got to see those.
Wow.
Where are they?
Yeah, I don't know. Somewhere in New
That's
Jersey.
insane.
Was he rich?
I think it has to be.
Has
I mean,
to
to
be,
have.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
You know, I didn't.
Wait, but how did
I
he
never
live-
talk money with these guys because
If
it's very offensive. To
If
them.
he's rich, how did he lose his family through this whole thing?
I don't know. They just disappear. They
They
disappear
probably
one by
had it
one.
with him.
They get tired of his hands
They
making
get
flipper
frustrated.
motions.
They get really frustrated. They get super frustrated.
I want to see this
Yeah.
place.
I want to see
You
his
got a
place
key?
too.
You got a key
I
to
wanna
this
see this
place?
place.
He will absolutely. If I'll do I'm going to do a podcast there. Just come drop it with me. It's amazing. Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that would be
it's
fucking
fascinating to walk through. And once you walk through it, you're so blown away. And now you're so emotional to it that you're like, I want the world to see this. Like
Yeah.
you really want to get involved in it. And he's like, nah, I'm
is
good.
it dirty or smelly or no?
It's a little smelly. Yeah.
A little musty.
Yeah,
it's a little smelly.
It's a bit stinky. Yeah, I couldn't find the bathroom in there.
Could
The,
it?
Well, so here's the thing. This is what I'll throw for you. So like you're going through, you're in love with it. Remember the Zoltar from the movie Big?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 3 of those sitting in the
Wow.
corner. 3 of those things. There's only like 5 of them in the world. He's got 3 of them.
Really? It's only 5 of them?
Yeah, and it's in perfect
He's got
condition.
3.
He's got 3.
Wow, man.
Doesn't matter. He's got people that want to, pay him a lot of money for
Oh,
him.
he
He's not
could off
interested.
those for huge
But
money.
then you walk around the corner, and I'll be like, "That's interesting." And it was one of those old, the hockey bubble games.
Sure.
Filled with his own hair. It was all hair he'd have his entire life. He'd saved all of his hair.
Crazy.
I
And
love this guy.
So like you think that you're like, this guy is actually we're crazy and this guy is brilliant. Like he gets it and it really starts to mess with you because you're like, we're the crazy ones.
How
And
did
then
they-
you
and
see
then you see something like
every
that.
piece of hair he's ever had his entire life.
Wow.
How
Like,
did he make his money?
No. I don't know. I think he fixes the.
You don't know. You
I
said
think
you're
he
good
fixes-
friends with him.
Yeah, I don't ask about money.
He doesn't ask
Never
money,
ask about
though.
money because he'll totally cut
Maybe
me
it's
off.
old money. Maybe he got
I think
inheritance.
Yeah,
or
I don't know.
something?
I think you inherit that. I don't
Wow,
think
this
you
guy
inherit
sounds
that.
fascinating.
Yeah, he's
Was he-
fascinating individual.
Was he
Fascinating.
featured on Hoarders?
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
a half hour with him.
You remember
Yeah.
seeing
Oh,
this
yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Do they show the
Definitely.
pinball machines?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's all you
Yeah,
could see.
they were trying to move him in.
He
into
actually
the
lived
place and-
inside an old
Pinball machine?
what's the one you roll the balls into the
Yeah, skee ball.
yeah, like he
Yeah.
lived underneath it because he liked to feel like he was one with the machine.
Come on.
Sort of guy.
Just
Yeah.
like
What a
But
great
for me,
job.
I have to separate myself and say, okay, that's not crazy because I hate that word. I was like, it's not. It might be very intense. But
Yeah.
I try not to use the crazy and just say, all right, this is a totally different view, and I have to just get myself into that view and see what's.
it's
can
hard not to
understand
use the
it.
word crazy, though.
It's a
hard
very
not
difficult.
to.
It's very difficult.
And when you say you kind of forget sometimes that it's a disease, what reminds me when I'm watching the show is the fact that it's like textbook. All these people have these similar
Right.
Yeah.
things that come
Something
up.
happened
It's like
every time.
it's always something happened. It's always these people are so combative and they want to keep their family and friends and they say that it's the most important thing to them, yet they don't want to get rid of things. And they're like, they know they're going to lose the house,
Oh,
they're going to lose
I've had-
everything, but they won't throw away a little fucking Hummel.
I've literally sat there. I've literally sat there and said, okay, you can have your child who's sitting on the couch,
Right.
or that pile of shit over there.
Yeah.
Which would you like me to take away?
Yeah.
And they can't make the
They
decision.
can't
do it.
decide.
And when you realize they're going to lose their kids and they still can't help it, then you're like, man, this is really deep.
The
This
ones
is serious.
The ones that get me the most angry, and I'm sure you've seen from my
oh yes,
tweets.
I love you. Your tweets are my Monday night now, man.
It's hilarious. I love it because I get so wound up. The thing that gets me the most are the people that have no appreciation for what you guys are doing for them, what their family's doing for them.
No.
These guys that come there, and I can only imagine because look, everybody that comes there isn't a health professional. There are guys that just move garbage.
Yeah, we
And
got
they gotta
1-800
look.
got junk guys that
Yeah.
are making, I don't know, $10 an hour.
And they have
Nothing.
to look and
Yeah.
go, I want to fucking punch this person in
Yeah.
the face. Because they're yelling at them like, you threw this away. I didn't get to look first. And I turn around and go, fuck you, I'm doing this for you.
Yeah, I do it. I throw something away on purpose at the beginning now. I've learned
really?
that, just get it out of the way because they're waiting for you to fuck up.
Right.
So now
that's
I
funny.
just do it at the beginning. So like they'll say specifically, don't throw away, as you say, my Hummel collection. Great. So I'll make sure there's an empty 800 got junk truck, and I'll put the Hummel collection right at the front.
I told
And
you.
they just lose it. They lose it. But to me, I've
God.
learned that's part of the process. Let them flip out, and then we can get past it and start moving.
I was always saying that you're the no nonsense guy.
Yeah.
You're the one that, like, some of the people really coddle these people during the entire show. You give them the benefit of the doubt pretty early on, but if they start giving you crap, you're like, look, we could leave.
Yeah.
We could just leave.
I treat them like family, and if my brother is going to give me shit, I'm going to give him shit back.
Right.
And so I just get right at him, and I'll push him really hard.
Yeah. I like that.
How many roaches have you seen? Like how
God.
the roaches
This
would
is the
freak.
good part.
Oh, God.
That would freak me out more than.
We had one. It was in St. Louis. And there were so many roaches. The bug guy was like, "I'm out. I can't do this."
Yeah.
Like the exterminator.
Wow.
And it was about 3 feet of cobwebs at the top of the house. And what happened is the roaches would crawl up, and they would get up into the cobwebs, and then they would lose their footing, and they'd fall down on you.
Holy shit.
So the house was raining cockroaches.
Wow.
And it was so bad. I mean, millions of cockroaches. And it was so bad, we had to tell the junk guys to tape up their assholes so that the cockroaches wouldn't crawl up their ass.
Crawl up their ass?
Did they
Swear to
tape
God.
their shoes?
Yeah, we taped the ankles.
Were they on
We
you, the
taped
roaches?
sleeves. No, they would just cover you. We had to put cotton balls in your ear.
Oh, so wait a minute. Did somebody
man.
live
Because
like
you didn't
that?
want them going. You had a front mask, so it was you had to have every orifice covered.
Somebody lived like that?
Yeah, they had a kid living in there. 10-year-old
Oh,
kid living
man.
in
Can
there.
I see, Sam? Look this up
Crazy.
online. I
And
wanna
what?
see this.
Cockroaches will go up your asshole?
Yeah, they'll go anywhere they can get in.
They don't know.
And then what happens?
They don't know the social implications of that.
I know. We had, I mean, that one with the earthquake, the lady had so many fleas
Yeah.
that I was realizing, I was like, I don't want a flea that's been sitting in your shit coming and
Right.
sitting on my head.
Yeah.
So we were full. Everyone had
You
full
have
bio on
hazmat
that
outfits?
one.
Like,
yeah, in
would
that
you need
house
to
I was.
would you need to plug up a hole if it was a hazmat outfit?
If you're sealed at all four corners, you're fine. The neck is always the place, the entry you have to be worried about.
They can zip it up though, right?
I duct tape everything. I double duct tape
Man.
everything.
Because you figure if they can fucking stop bees from getting in there, and like beekeepers, they zip.
Yeah, but a bee's big.
Yeah.
Those little fleas will be
Fleas
anywhere,
are a
man.
nightmare.
Covered
Oh,
with
fleas.
someone else's shit.
I love when when you need a complete respirator and everything, not just a paper mask, a respirator, and they're trying to have like this sensitive conversation with the
that's
person,
the worst
and all you
part.
hear is like,
Now, what I'm seeing here is, how would you feel if I threw this away?
Yeah. And I try to take off my mask because there's no way you can have a real conversation with a lady.
yeah.
Does that freak people out when they realize that people in their homes are wearing fucking astronaut outfits?
Usually when she's like, why are you guys all wearing, the full,
Your
the
house
full
stinks.
white biohazard
You
suits?
think
I'm
that
like,
insults them?
Yeah, it does, and they don't get it. They're just like, it's just
Fuck
some paper.
them.
I'm
Fuck
like, but
these
it's
people.
the 3 feet
Yeah.
of black mold that I slipped
Oh,
on.
the
That's what I'm worried
roaches!
about.
No,
Oh,
they
the
were
roaches.
Sam, are
The
you
roaches
finding
are
this
lousy.
video on YouTube?
There's two types of hoarders I've noticed. There's the clutter hoarder, that it's like newspapers and boxes and
We call it
things.
information hoarders. Yeah, they're the worst.
And then there's the disgusting thing where it's literally garbage and shit
Yeah, and I love
roaches
that's
and
easy.
food. That's easy.
I love that's easy because it's like there's no debating that 300 dead cats needs to be thrown away. Maybe you keep one, that's fine. The rest of them are going $2.99 are going in the trash.
But when somebody has
the paper,
things,
that's information. That's valuable.
Wow.
And so it's really hard.
And they're
to get
always
them to
dumb.
understand.
That's the amazing thing. It's like you have all this news in front of you, and you don't
be
know what an
you'd
answer
be
you are.
shocked.
You didn't learn
I've had
anything.
3 this year that I found out they were contestants on Jeopardy.
Wow.
And they're hoarders.
And they're hoarders. They were contestants because I now know
Damn.
what the picture looks like. When you're a contestant on Jeopardy, they give you a little Jeopardy box with a picture of you and Alex Trebek. I found it
really?
3 times now.
Oh, the cockroaches don't look that bad.
Oh, come on. That's
Sam, turn it
disgusting.
Come on. This
Oh, is
isn't
that the
that
clip?
bad.
Oh,
Where's the
God,
clip, Sam?
What about
cockroaches?
Why
Are
you
so
not? Why
bad.
are you hoarding clips? Oh shit! Way to bring it home, Jim.
Mike the Marine in Waiting River wants to know about the vibrators under the bed.
We've had a lot. I mean, every house. Amy doesn't like me to talk about this story. so let's just get that out. They just don't like it. But anyway, it's a good story.
Just
so
tell them we forced you.
Yeah. I mean, they know I'm coming on here. So, I mean, it's not like
Why wouldn't they want you to talk about that?
I think the network just likes to keep things.
They like to keep it on the up and up,
Up
they're-
and up, there's
Yeah.
300 dead cats in the house. And you can't talk about the vibrators?
Wait, was
What
she
we
hoarding
found out,
vibrators?
every hoarder has a massive collection of dildos. It's fascinating. Fascinating. Excuse
Come
me.
on.
Excuse me. Someone wrote in and told me they're not dildos, they're vibrators, which I didn't know the difference. I mean,
my
in the vibrator never matches the hoarder. Like you look at them and you're like, I wouldn't think that they would have 600, vibrating dildos under the bed, and they'll use them, they'll burn them out. And then they'll keep going.
Because here's why.
Wow.
Because nobody will fuck them, so they have to masturbate. I'm telling
There's
you.
it's still a high sex drive. It's interesting.
But how many vibrators have you found?
Thousands, man.
It's
Under
theirs.
one
It's theirs.
bed?
Oh yeah. We had one lady. It was amazing. She was dying. She was dying of cancer. He was dying of Lou Gehrig's. The family called us in just to clean, so the family could come and say goodbye to these two people.
Whoa.
Right. So we're cleaning the house, and it was pretty messy. A lot of mold, a lot of bugs. About 4 foot high. Just
What kind of bugs? Roaches?
roaches, and mice. Rats. Everything. And when you have like dead cats and mice living in the same room, you realize how bad and how dense the hoard is. 'Cause these things shouldn't live together in the same room.
Yeah.
And they're living very fine in the same living room.
Disgusting Tom and Jerry.
But this house, we got all the way to the bed. And when we got to the bed, it was just D batteries and vibrators, and that's it all the way through. When we start cleaning on the bed, and she's like, "Oh, that's And I look at her, I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm very aware of what this is." I was
Don't worry
like,
about it.
Don't worry about it. Let's just move on. And then she just out of nowhere, she goes, "We met at a swingers club, and we were swingers." And I was
Holy
like,
shit.
okay.
That's great.
That's cool. And I guess she had never told anybody.
Yeah.
And she just, screamed it out, and then we just laughed the whole way. But it was fat.
Wow.
It was 2 trucks full of dildos. Yeah, so it was probably a couple thousand.
That's hilarious.
And I don't think you couldn't use 1,000 dildos.
Probably not. I could shove a bunch in my ass. But
Not 1,000.
Well, I want to take this phone call from Fred in Morristown. Fred, we got Matt Paxton from Hoarders in studio. What's up, buddy?
Yo, what's up, boys? How you guys doing? Hey, there was an episode where you guys were like finding all sorts of food items, like dry pantry shit.
Yeah.
And there was an episode where there was a jar with like black,
Yes, I did that one.
moldy balls or some shit, and then she eats it.
Mm-hmm, I did it.
God.
Yeah, that was
Supposedly it was in the refrigerator for 20 years or
20
something?
years, and that lady was brilliant, by the way. Her name's Lisa. And
What do you mean she was brilliant?
very smart. She was she'd worked for the UN. She was a translator for the UN. So
wait,
she was a
what
very smart
moldy
lady.
balls were in the fridge?
She liked to make food, and she had this old jar
God,
full of
that's
some
sick.
type of spicy food, she said. And I was trying to push her to say, well, clearly this isn't safe. And I was trying to go on the safe side, trying to reason with her. And I saw it in her eyes. It was a fuck you look. She's like, I'm going to show you. And she pulled the thing out, and she goes, this is wonderful. And I think it was a date. I think it was a 20-year-old date that had like petrified. And she just goes, she just chews on it, right? Just to show me that I'm wrong.
Holy shit.
And it was just this black tar that just kept sticking to her teeth. And I lost it. I lost it. I was
Did
like,
she
I
spit it
can't
out
do
or swallow it?
No, she swallowed it.
Did she get sick?
Wow.
Yeah. No, she's fine. I got sick. I went outside.
It
and
is
threw up.
amazing
Yeah.
with the stuff they'll eat and
But for me,
have in the fridge.
the key on that one was then I realized she was my buddy now. She was trying to gross me out, and she did it on purpose. And I knew at that moment, I'm in. I can now get this lady some help. Because for her, she was trying to one-up me, and she hadn't had a friend in 10 years.
Wow.
And she was having a blast with that.
She was just waiting for someone to come in so she could pull that gag.
Yeah, she's probably sitting on
They're
that dirt
probably
for 10
brand new.
years.
She's probably brand new dates. She's put it in an old jar.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Rotten food, my God.
Food is tough, man. Food is really tough.
The house, the smell, that's another thing. I can't imagine what these places smell like.
I've smelled I found a dead body. I've smelled everything.
Jeez.
And food is always the worst.
Yeah.
Chicken bone, old, like 10-year-old chicken bones, like they sweat. And those are really bad. Like I'll throw up every time I get the chicken bones.
Oh, God.
What does it smell like?
It's like a orange shit, like it's citrusy and poop at the same time. It's
Oh,
really,
man.
It's really nasty. It's like an open asshole. It's been open for a while. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Do you find the clip, Sam?
disgusting. Just disgusting.
Let the record state he looked at Jim Norton
No.
when he said that.
I want to see the
I
St.
listen
Louis.
every day, guys. Remember?
The St. Louis roaches.
The only big roach clip coming up is from the other show.
we hate
we
that
don't,
other
we don't
show.
acknowledge
I never
that.
watched it.
Did
Especially
they
if
show
you're
that
here.
one
We'll
in
talk
St.
about
Louis or
tomorrow,
no?
though, when you're gone, but
Yeah.
not while you're
The
here.
website only shows like last week's episode.
Yeah.
Can't we go on YouTube and look for it? I'll fucking bite your
He's
cheek.
been hustling.
Matt, I like asking you every time you're in here, what's the worst one? Is it the same as the last time, or you got a new worst one?
it's new every week. This one, the last month or so, we did a mouse one that it was just 5 feet high, straight of newspaper the whole way through. And there were, you'd walk in, so it was probably about a 2-foot pile on the tire floor, and then they had made pads, and it was just newspapers the whole way through.
That's the house.
The whole house. The whole house. And so the mice took it over. And our exterminator came in. He was like, dude, there's nothing we can do. You have to burn. This is a colony. Like, you have to burn this house.
colony of mice?
Colony of mice. There was nothing. He's like, I can't get rid of these. It's impossible.
How many mice?
We filled 250. We filled 255-gallon like big metal trash cans, just one at a time, just like picking boogers. Or just
how were you killing them?
We actually just lit it on fire. There's no other way to get rid of it. It was a lot easier than going to property.
You want to admit that? Wouldn't Peter have a problem with that?
Probably. I don't. They're not exactly in love with everything we do. I mean, that was.
But in an extreme situation like that, it's like.
A lot. Go ahead.
Well, in an extreme situation like that, you don't want to kill them, but where are you going to put the mice? Would somebody from PETA be willing to adopt them? That's fine.
Yeah, I can't let them go to the neighbor's house. No. I mean, I have to get rid of them.
So is that going to be on a future episode?
No, that was a private.
No, they won't.
A&E wouldn't touch that.
Will you
A&E
call us
doesn't
next
touch
time?
the stuff. I mean, A&E will not touch the real bad stuff because it's too gross for TV.
Right.
Really?
Way too,
They wouldn't touch that one?
No, like we've had a couple where there's bodies that have been found and they won't. Wow. They will not. Like the lady, her husband died naturally. Like Corey's the other guy on the show that does the stuff I do.
Yeah.
And I was just out with him last week in California. He did one just last week where the lady, her husband died. She rolled him up in a shower curtain and then just forgot. And he was there for like 5 years.
Just forgot.
Yeah, just
What
forgot.
about the smell? She just ignores the smell.
The smells never matter. Never matter.
So Corey called me. He's like, "We got to get this on TV today," and I was like, "Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen."
It's weird that they would fucking. They would. I mean, they show some gross stuff, but why would they not show that stuff?
Yeah. Well, you know what
the show does well, and they can keep it more between the lines. I guess.
I think they went a little too far with the poop last season.
Which one? Was that the stairway?
Yeah, I mean, some of the houses I
was
did
amazing.
were
Yeah.
Just
they threw it up on the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, just when they splattered walls and stuff, it was just awful. And the splattering is when you got wiping and splattering. That's gone.
But it's interesting to show, though.
Oh, please call me. I want to go to one of these.
Well, next time we have one in New York,
I'm not even joking.
Yeah, next time we do one in New York, we'll put
get all our numbers and please call us.
I mean,
I want to check this out.
You just got to do the safety stuff.
Oh man,
especially with the kids and everything.
I would actually want to wear an absolute hazmat. I want to fucking be dressed like Neil Armstrong because I want to see one of these places, but I really don't because I don't want bugs on me.
All I'd say is you just keep your jokes to yourself because these people are we'll have a blast and a beer afterwards.
I want to see cockroaches. I want to see fucking rats.
Some of the houses are
Disney.
We did one here. One of my favorite ones. One of my very favorite ones was in Queens, and this guy had it was about an acre, like an actual acre, and it was filled with bicycles. His whole yard was filled with bicycles, and there was a bum camped out in his yard. He didn't even know. He didn't know it was such a big horde, and we had to like knock down the. One of the things the city wanted to do was knock down this guy's shelter, and he's had buckets and buckets of poop all throughout the shelter. So I was the bum, so I was cleaning his house out. I was cleaning this bum's shack out with him. And
I don't know how you do it.
Well, and I love it. I mean, now
it sounds like
that's my high, man. Like, give me now. It's like if I only have like 10 dead cats, I'm like, it's kind of boring, man. Like that's
what a boring day.
I used to. I mean, my previous addictions was gambling, and so I need that rush like all the time.
Really?
That's my high.
Do you guys take secret bets? All right, I'll bet you fucking at least 2 million mice and 50 cats.
We do. We like to just guess how many cats are going to be in there.
Is this available like on Netflix and stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean we do really well on we do really well on Netflix. Most people
watch that one as soon as I
It's
get
great to
home.
just do a marathon, man. I love sitting down and what's really odd, and you wouldn't think this is the case, the rewatchability factor is great. It's like, oh, I love this one. This is the one with this woman that fucking just a filthy kitchen and roaches in the refrigerator.
I don't know why people like the show. I don't know why we have the ratings that we have. It fascinates me.
It really is fascinating.
I don't know why.
Did you ever?
It's a freak show. We love freak shows.
Well, yeah.
When you were doing this for like said $12 an hour and stuff, did you think there was a market for it on television?
No, I knew that what we were doing was interesting, and me and all my guys, we're all recovering addicts or ex-cons, and so who else is going to clean this shit up? I mean, I prefer the dudes right out of they got out on Saturday.
Right,
that's the guy I want to hire.
Wow.
I want him working for me on Monday. Because if he fucks up, he's going back. So he's not gonna.
He's got
not
a little
mess up.
motivation.
Yeah, they're the best guys in the world.
Wow.
And I mean, I've converted. I got rid of all my college kids and converted all. I'd much rather know how much time you did in jail. That's important.
Wow.
Oh yeah, like Ronnie. We got Ronnie. He just got out. He went for 20 years. He's my age. He's 37. He just got out.
Holy shit!
In July.
Murder?
Yeah.
Well, it had to be.
How is he? What do you do if he's late for work?
He shows up at like 4:30.
Okay.
Don't yell at him.
He takes a bus and he'll get there like 3 hours early because he doesn't want to be late. So he'll just sit at the warehouse for 3 hours, just waiting.
I guess when you're free from 20 years in jail, anything is good.
Anything, dude. The only thing he's struggled with technology. That's been hard for him.
Yeah, I bet.
Just because he went in and like he said, I went in. The only dude with a cell phone was Zach Morris. I was like, that's a good point. I mean, like he didn't. he missed all the technology.
Yeah,
It's like watching him try to use a GPS is like the funniest thing in the world because he just can't figure the concept.
Realize that, yeah.
It doesn't. It's just too much.
It's like all space magic and shit.
Yeah, it's magic. It is for him.
Magic,
It's magic. It blows him away. But he'll clean anything. He's fine with it, and do it with a smile.
Yeah.
Those fucking roaches drive me crazy. There's nothing crazy.
It's so funny. You're like so focused on the roaches. I don't even think about the roaches.
You know.
No, the food, the textures do it for me. Like, what does the food turn into?
That's disgusting.
What is the paper? The paper will turn into a real thick, gooey, moldy sculptor thing, and that's the mold scares me. That's what really scares me. The mold scares me.
Dangerous.
You smell it. I mean, if I get near a house, I'd be like, nope.
You can smell the mold.
You don't go in for mold?
Yeah.
What does mold smell like?
It makes you dizzy. It's more the dizziness than the smell.
Jesus.
You feel it right away. You feel it on both sides of your head.
I was running a place in New York, and we were infested with mice. I want to know about this colony thing.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, they're everywhere. They're in the, I mean, what you don't see, like, it's fine what you see outside of the walls, but what's inside of the walls is even worse.
Oh, we used to hear them at night when we were trying to sleep in the ceiling.
Wow.
And I've told the story a bunch of times, but what the fuck? Someone gave me electric mouse traps.
Yeah.
I was up to close to 70 kills before I left.
Easy.
So how many does that mean were in the walls?
Thousands.
Thousands?
Every house in America has mice in it. People don't realize that if you cut open your walls, you'd find all your old socks, everything you can't find, the insects and mice took into your walls. They're all pull the drywall down and you'll see, I mean, a good...
That's what you see?
Almost every house. You'll see 6 inches. I ruined that for everybody. You'll see like a 6 foot, like, just stacked. But a house like
so that's where some
colony,
of your shit goes?
Absolutely. The socks and stuff you can't find, that's where they go.
They drag
mice
it in
drag
the
them in
wall.
there.
See
And it's
well-dressed mice?
Right.
I mean, it's just, it's a whole other
a mouse
world.
with an Ozzy shirt on. Wow. Just hanging.
I actually have a...
Wait, I want to slow you down for a second.
Yeah.
So if I killed 70 mice, there were thousands in my walls.
Man.
Thousands.
At least,
no
let's
doubt.
just say hundreds to be safe. But the houses, like if you hear them all on the walls,
I hear them in a way they sound like they're huge, but that's got to just mean that they're
that's
just
probably a rat.
no. But people have told me maybe you can.
And I'd much rather have city rats.
People say
than mice.
if you have mice, you don't have rats because the rats will eat the mice. So that's the one
Correct.
good
It's
thing
one or the
about.
other. Yeah.
If you see a mouse, you're like, okay, at least I don't have rats.
Why
I'd
would you rather have
city
rats?
Because they're bigger and they just less of them, and you can kill them a lot easier.
What?
Yeah,
You
and,
kill
and
what
when they're
easier?
when they're out of food, they'll leave.
What,
Rats will
rats?
just leave.
They
Yeah.
want to get more food.
They wanted more food.
I never
They could give
wanna
a
see-
shit about
I
you. They
never
just
want to
food.
see a rat in my house.
This New York City rats are bad.
They hiss that
Oakland,
shit.
yeah, Oakland are the worst rats I've ever
Why?
seen. They're just massive. They're like big cats. I mean, they're
Oh,
huge.
wow.
Don't they get that big in New York?
Yeah.
No.
They're
I've
big
seen
here,
some big
yeah.
ones.
They're big here. They're really big
I
here.
think
but,
country
but
rats
Oakland are
probably
the
get-
worst. Oakland's are
We had
Oakland.
a rat hiss at us one night coming home late from the bars. It was one of the fucking scariest things I've
They're
ever
big.
fucking seen.
You don't think they make
They
sound,
hiss.
Yeah.
and they yell at you.
They ain't scared of you.
Well,
at
'cause
all.
we saw him like tuck in behind a garbage pail, so of course we're a little drunk. We're like, oh, let's take a closer look, and this fucking thing hissed,
They're
and
big.
we all jumped like little girls.
So this guy,
bugs.
guy you're watching right here, he was camping, and the house was so full that he was camping in the backyard with his kids.
He gave up his own house,
In a
Gave
Boston.
up.
In a
They
Boston.
pushed himself out of
the
his
house.
own house.
and he still doesn't see where that's a problem.
But he does now. He's gone to therapy, and he's been clean for 2 years.
How do you do therapy for this shit?
You know, you got to find out what the issue was. Like
There's always something.
there's always
yeah.
something really deep. And the problem for us as viewers, you're like, well, I had a bad life. My dad treated me like shit.
That's what you realize.
You know, why can't this person cope? And they can't. I mean, for me, my dad died, and I went on a pretty bad bender for like 2 years.
Drinking or gambling or
every day.
okay.
I moved to Lake Tahoe, lived on the 7th floor.
Wow.
I mean, I went all in. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
awesome.
It was a great year. I had a really good time.
What do you mean you lived on the 7th floor?
I lived on the 7th floor at Caesar's Palace. Just got a room.
man.
I just got a room and lived there, and it was awesome.
Wow,
Were you
you're-
making enough to
You're
survive?
rich.
Well, no. I started cleaning up shit for a living for $12 an hour. So no. I mean, I had a really bad rock bottom. I mean, I went literally.
Yeah.
Guy beat the shit. A bookie beat the shit out of me, and that was my
Wow.
a really good rock bottom for me.
But he beat you up for owing him a lot of money.
Yeah, I owed $40,000. I couldn't come up with it, and I called him and I was like, "Man, I'm sorry, I don't have it." And he's like, "Don't worry about it, man."
Oh man.
And he's like, "Just come on down and get what you got." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "This isn't like the movies at all."
He's a nice
He
guy.
wanted to lure you in.
Yeah, and I gave him $1,000 and he beat the shit out of me. Broke my nose, and it was like,
Wow.
Oh, and
What did he say?
goes, you got a week to get me $40,000. So he took the only grand that I had
Beat the shit out of you.
and beat the
Said-
shit out of me and said, "You got a week."
Did you get it?
I did. I called I called my mom, and she was like, "You're out. I can't help you."
Wow.
And then I called an old boss, and he goes, "I'll get you a job." He said, "I'll pay it, but you owe it me back."
How many people watch Hoarders and go, "That motherfucker owes me money"?
Yeah, probably a lot. Yeah, yeah, probably a
fucking
lot.
guy owes
I
me
did. Guys from that world are now finding me.
Are
And
they?
that's,
Yeah.
that's an old word. I mean, I'm not. I'm not at that.
They're finding you for what reason?
They just see me and they just think it's funny that I'm doing this.
Oh, they're not.
It's funny.
No, I'm paid up. I don't know anybody anything. This year I paid off all my debt.
You were a fuck up.
I did.
Gambling's a rough one. You paid up until this year.
It took me 8 years. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I don't make a ton of money, man.
No,
I clean
you
up shit
owe
for a living.
bookies waited for it.
How much did you lose total, if you had to guess?
Oh, I mean, probably close to 100 at one point. This week's always hard for me because the tournament was my big. I mean, I still. I mean, I get it hurt. Yeah, the sheets for me, man. I mean, a tournament sheet is that's the biggest high in the world.
Wow, really?
Me, yeah. I mean, it's better than sex.
So you still got the itch. You got a little itch.
I got the other day. I had to fly through Vegas, and I hadn't had the itch in a while. And I had to call AD. And I was like, "You got to reroute me, man. I can't. It was too weird for me."
Wow, really?
It got me excited. And I was like, "I can't." And I'm not that worried about it, but I got kids now, and I'm like,
you don't want to.
I don't want to be around it. I don't want to be around it. So I was like, just reroute me. And it was just like a 4-hour layover. But like my head right away was like, "Oh, I could get a cab. I could get downtown. I could do an hour."
You're already.
And then I was like, I wonder which debit card I'll take. I'll only take $100. You know, I started going through the justification, and I was like, "Oh fuck, dude, I'm out."
It's funny. Like I've worked so many times in Vegas for AC, but I really don't gamble.
Well, every comedian says they never gamble.
Well, it's because you see. Well, a lot of guys do, and they lose everything. Like what's scary. I love the fact that I've taken money out of those places, and I've really put very little in. But I know if I started gambling, I'm such a compulsive creep, I would lose so much. Like, I know, I play video poker, and I'll win 20 and walk away like a fucking king.
That's my problem. I can't walk away.
No, I know, but sooner or later, that magic, the invisible line will happen, and I won't be able to. And I know that it will happen because I'm a compulsive drinker and drugger when I do that. I'm a compulsive masturbator now still. I can't win. I can't beat that shit.
I'm compulsive. I'm now compulsive on dead cats and helping people. Like, that's why I get that same high. Now, the problem is I still need that high. So, like, me and my guys, we're all compulsive. And so the problem is, like, we would get really bummed out if there's not 200 dead cats. Like, it's not exciting. We don't get that rush.
And
we need that.
And your job takes you around the country?
Yeah.
You fly into all these
fly
places?
everywhere now. It's all, I mean, it's a living now. I was able to buy a house for my family.
It must give you an understanding of these people.
That's why I'm cool with them, because I've done a lot worse than that. I've put a lot of options on the... Let me tell you, that day, I just did... in fact, it's airing here tomorrow. I just did Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it. And that night where I was like, I got to make some money, like, I put a lot of fucked up options on the table.
Jeez.
Like, a lot worse than cleaning up poop. I mean, that was the best.
Were you going to prostitute yourself?
Yeah, after I was like, you know what? I wonder how many dicks I got to suck to get 40 grand. Like, I actually thought about it.
Wow.
And not that I would know how to, like, line that up or anything, you know. But then I thought about, I was like, I could go to New York and run drugs just once. And I was like thinking of anything I could do.
How many dicks for 40 grand?
I don't know.
Hopefully not 1,000.
Yeah,
He's only got
$40
a pop.
I'm sure, in Tahoe, I'm sure it's in Reno, it's probably even more. And I mean, it was just, I did not. I just want to put that for the record. But I mean, for me,
because you'd probably be really lousy at it when you're doing it. When you're like trying to rush the guy into coming because your bookie's waiting. Like, come on.
Can you write that check? Can you write that check, please?
Come on.
Only 999 to go.
Oh my God!
But it makes you realize these ladies aren't as crazy.
I gotta tell you,
I guess.
Did you write a book yet?
I did. I wrote the book.
Did we read it?
You did, yeah. I think you had me here already.
I mean,
for the book.
Yeah, he was here for the book.
Clearly, you read it. Yeah,
No.
what
I meant to say, did we promote it? I'm sorry.
He's
did.
also got.
Oh, now I'm got to go fucking read the book.
He's also got 5decisionsaway.com. The number 5 decisionsaway.com. It's your podcast.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I did a tour last week and did I did Rogan and the Scar Brothers and all those guys.
People are loving it. They're loving
crazy.
the podcast.
We're in the top 100 now, and I mean I'm making more money on that than I was on TV.
What do you mean?
And I don't make a lot of money. We got really good advertisers.
We can't really figure that out yet.
I want to talk to you guys. I mean, as a listener, please just go do a live daily podcast. Just leave this place and be done with it. We would love for you guys just to move on and do the live podcast and get over with it. You can make.
Well, let's do it.
It amazes me the money I'm making doing a podcast, and I'm barely in the top 100.
That's
now
really something.
What makes me happy financially is obviously a lot lower than what makes you guys happy financially, but it's I'm telling you, it's where it's going. It
is the next step, and it's a very logical place to go. And all these guys that have these high profile, like Kevin Smith has a whole fucking network. All these guys that have big networks,
massive.
There's a lot of money to be made with it now. So
I spend the night over at Jay Moore's, and his is
Jay
Moore, man.
Jay's great. Yeah.
And people, I mean, I have stories forever. I mean, that's not a problem.
Is that pretty much what you're doing?
Yeah,
on the podcast?
It's basically, it highlights the 14 years of failing before, like all the dumb shit I did to end up having to clean up poop.
What are you, an hour podcast?
What is 5 decisions away? What is that?
That was the guy, that bum. We were sitting there and cleaning out his shack, and I asked him, I was like, how did you end up in the middle of New York City living in this shack? And he goes, actually, I was a broker. And I was like,
Really?
what? I go, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, girl broke my heart. I was like, a girl broke your heart? He goes, well, I got addicted to crack too, but
okay.
the girl also, and I was like, and I just looked at the camera and I was like, I guess we really are, because I was standing next to a 5-gallon bucket full of shit.
Yeah.
And I go, I guess we are all 5 decisions away from shitting in a bucket.
Wow.
And as soon as I said it, it just exploded. And so now, I mean, we just talk. I mean, everyone, I found, and this is what I love about Hoarders, we're all fucked up. We're all a little crazy, but we all hide it. And if we just tell the stories, they're actually pretty funny. And so, I mean, I think, good Lord, the stories you must have are just ridiculous.
Mine are mostly sex stories, and fucking some of them are uncomfortable. Yeah,
just wrote a couple books about it.
But there's 1,000 people that have the same story.
Yeah, it's cathartic sometimes just to get on the air. And sometimes, if it's a slow news day, you just find yourself blurting out this shit that you went through in life. Just for material.
Yeah.
But then you kind of get into it and you realize people are like, holy shit, yeah, something similar happened to me. Or, people go, holy shit, no, I've never done that or had that happen to me.
Yeah.
I mean, for you guys, I know you guys have spent, your whole lives. I mean, I always nod my head when you guys are saying, we haven't, the podcasters haven't earned it. You're right. We do an hour and a half a week. Please. I got that. We know that.
You've earned it. You got some
I've earned it on the shit
stories.
side, yeah. But I mean, but to think, I know you guys have churned it out day after day after day. But it's amazing where the technology is going. I mean, I was telling Roland, I mean, I went out, did Stern a couple weeks ago, called in, and it doubled me from 25 to 50,000. And I was like, oh my God, this will never happen. Did Rogan's, and it tripled me from 50 to 150
Amazing,
on the way out the door.
150,000 downloads?
Yeah, in a day.
And then you do our show, and you're back down to 10,000.
We're going to lose a couple. Well, that's why, I mean, I was telling my wife, she's like, you're not doing any TV or anything? You're going to New York just for O&A? I was like, yeah.
Radio is better than TV for some of that.
Absolutely.
And what's your average?
Well, we'll be 100 a week now.
You're averaging 100,000.
That's great.
We're out of here, man.
Dude, you guys don't realize the money. You don't realize the money you guys will be making. I mean, I've got someone that specifically asked me to talk to you guys.
Wow.
An ad guy for podcast. All he does is ads.
He doesn't want me cut out, does he?
No, it's like, dude, the rest. I mean, they call you and they'll be like, "Well, what can I do?" Just keep talking, man. Here's the ads. Do whatever the fuck you want to do.
We're gonna.
They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
We're gonna talk.
It's amazing. It's changed our business. I mean,
There's no reason to be here.
I make a lot more money telling stories about picking up shit than I do actually picking up shit.
Hey, good question coming in from Sean in Georgia. Is there something called a clean hoarder, and have you come across that?
Well, it's OCD. What you don't realize is
you're not cleaning that shit, obviously.
No, but a lot of the really bad hoarders do start out OCD. And so if you got someone that's like just over the top anal, and they're really worried about things, what their mental process is, it's got to be done perfect. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. And if you don't do it the right way, don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. That's how a lot
recently with a monitor, a computer monitor that was, how old was it? 10 years old?
But he's worried about the hard drives of the other.
Those are saved.
Yeah.
But it was in good condition. I just didn't realize that the technology had changed so much. But I was okay smashing it. I just wanted to exercise the option of not wasting it, because part of it, I do have a bit of a hoarder tendency if I look at it. But a part of it is I make decent money, and it's easy just to throw shit out that other people would actually want. I don't want to throw something out that's legitimately good, but when I realized it was fucking a hunk of shit, I threw it on the floor.
Yeah.
Toss it.
I mean, most of the stuff people now, they think there's use for it, and they don't even realize. I mean, there's nothing to do. I mean, a pre-plasma TV, there's nothing to do with that.
You're right.
Yeah,
it's garbage.
you don't
and that's
need it.
still around. I mean, that's in most people's basements.
Let's go to Kyle in Boston. He's got something on the mice thing, which I find fascinating. Kyle.
They like cheese. Thanks, Kyle.
So I used to clean out foreclosed houses down in Dorchester and Roxbury. And we had a second floor pipe break, and we had to pull out all the sheetrock on the first floor. And when we pulled it out, the mice stacked playing cards inside the wall and used them as like storage shelves. There was dog food in all of them.
Matt is nodding like he's seen this.
Yeah, we started out doing foreclosures in D.C. and Baltimore. That was our first thing.
But they're
before we
using
did
them as little shelves?
Absolutely, they're brilliant. What he's saying is they're really smart, and they are. And that's actually probably rats, not mice. Rats are a lot smarter. But yeah, they build systems. They build entire little worlds in the walls.
You ever read that book on rats? Came out a few years ago.
I barely read. I barely read the book I read.
It was a great everything you need to know about rats, and
they're fascinating. We did a house that was only rats out in California. And it was like 5,000 rats. We just running around catching rats. Man.
They learn.
They're brilliant, man. They're so smart.
They have paths, and you think, I'll just put a trap in the middle of their path. They're like, fuck that.
They stop. They look at figure out what you've done, and then they go around it.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. They don't go willy-nilly whatsoever.
No. They're smarter than us. It's fascinating. The rats are They're survivors, man. They're fascinating. I think they're really.
And they collapse their jaws and stuff, so they can get squeezed through
through these little holes. Yeah.
Yeah, it is amazing how they could just get in these little spots like that.
What's cool about the hoarding houses is, by the way, whoever that guy that just called, if you're cleaning out foreclosed houses, that's a tough fucking guy.
Yeah,
because we used to do that. We stopped doing it because it's too dangerous.
You clean out hoards, but you don't.
The bank basically pays you to break into a house and change the locks.
Oh, okay.
And so you're going into a house. It's supposed to be empty.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to be empty.
Not always.
And we were doing them. I mean, Baltimore is not a safe town. We were downtown Baltimore and north.
Did you have any instances that were not good?
We ran into our last one. Wow. We ran into that MS-13 gang.
Oh man,
those guys,
we're done. They'll fucking kill you.
What happened when you walked in?
We ran away. We were like, sorry,
ran away.
It was supposed to be an empty house, and it was filled with like plasmas and bikes and motorcycles and stuff. I mean, clearly just stuff they'd stolen.
Yeah.
And we learned. I mean, it's easy.
Did you knock or did you just walk in?
Well, we break in. We'll drill the. I mean, we didn't know anybody was there, so you drill. You literally either pick the locks or you drill the locks, and you go in. And the house is supposed to be empty. We walked in, then we turned one corner. It was like, oh, this isn't empty. And we're like, hey, sorry guys.
There were guys sitting there.
Guys,
they didn't hear the drills in the fucking door.
I don't think they gave a shit.
Yeah,
they're not really scared of anyone. Those guys are above. They'll kill. I mean, they don't care.
They say
waiting
you
for someone to come in.
We just ran. I mean, we absolutely ran into our truck and ran away. And we called the bank, so we're never doing this again.
But nobody followed you out?
Thank God. Yeah.
Wow.
In DC, it was easy because you just give the guy on the corner. You say, "Hey, I'm gonna be working on the block for the day. Where should I not go?" And then the guy selling drugs will tell you, "Don't go in that house or that house." You go, "Here, thanks. Here's $40." And so the drug dealers are easy because that's their job. They're there to make money just like you are. If you make them some money, you're fine.
And they don't want you fucking with where they're keeping their stash.
Just don't go wherever. Just say, don't go to the house. Wow. Thank you, sir. I won't. And that way your tools don't get stolen. If you don't get the dude on the corner on your side, your truck will be empty in an hour. You go into the house, you come back, and it's gone. And so we learned very easy. But those dudes, man, they're still doing that now. They're some tough dudes. It was too much for us.
Wow.
We do hoarders because it's easier.
How many guys were in the MS-13 house?
Like 2.
Okay.
I mean, not enough.
They have guns?
I'm sure. I literally, I ran track in college, and I've never ran that fast in my life.
How do you know
those guys?
How do you know they were MS guys?
Well, I was assumption. They were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they were Latino. That was enough
probably
for me.
Tell, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That just scares. We all had stun guns at that point because you just never knew what you were going to come in on. It was. But when you're desperate, you'll do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
So you were happy
it's better than sucking 999 dicks.
Well, I would have asked those men for receipts for the televisions.
Dude, look, gangs, man. Gangs are not something you want to mess with, man.
No, because a lot of those guys are young, and they're not scared of going to jail. They're fucking scared.
I'll tell you, the last book I read was that No Angels Here. Did you read about that dude, the undercover cop that ended up getting tapped into the Hell's Angels? Fascinating book.
I'll read it.
Fascinating book. It's real quick, too. You can read it on a plane ride. And the dude, he went in. He was a football player in Arizona, ended up being a cop, and then he went undercover with the Hells Angels. And as he got deeper undercover with the Angels, he realized they were his brothers, not the cops that he worked for.
Wow.
And he really flip-flops.
Wow.
And ends up, he's very on it. And, of course, he's running from the Hells Angels now. But he ended up, he got inducted into the Hells Angels.
Actually made it full colors and
he was
everything.
really, he got full patched and everything. And it's a fascinating, but it really gets into that world and understanding what those guys believe.
Wow, man.
That's an awesome book.
What a great appearance, man.
I want to do a podcast. I really do.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
I'm telling you, you're right, Matt. There is a lot of money in them, and
certain freedom.
Again, I've doing Corollas. You see, like the little studio he has with video.
I went out there last week.
Fucking. Now he's making so much, but he ate shit for a while though. Adam didn't make anything for a while
because he was at the beginning.
He was at the beginning.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing it if he hadn't done it.
Yeah,
no way.
He is
and
the beginning.
I would love to sit with him and ask him.
It's all dumb little things we want here that they, for some reason.
Now here's the only thing: it's your show. It's your show, so you're paying for whatever you want to do. If you want to go, by the way, I will clean up the cleaning up someone's shit on a box. Apparently, someone's like, "Yeah, get Paxton to clean that up." I was driving my kid to school, so I wasn't listening that day. And your fans are relentless. Anything you say, if I happen to get included on the tweet, then I'll get I'll get 1,000.
Yeah.
I love you. Fuck you, but I love you, man. It's like, oh, guys, what?
They're good that way.
Oh. They are insane. Yeah.
We're scared of them.
Do I have time for one quick story? I did the last time I was here. I was talking about my book, and all I'd done, on Hoarders, and I've written a book it's mainly for old women to understand the disease.
Yeah.
And I was doing and I'd done more stories, and Jay was really nice. I saw him on Leno. He made a Hoarders joke, so I sent him a tweet. And he tweeted back. He's like, "Hey, man, come on the show." I was like, "Great. Thanks, Jay." I don't know the guy. It's so nice he did it. So I went on Seen on this show, you guys, and then went on more stories. And I guess that gave me an in at that point with your fans.
Yeah.
And at that point, I didn't know that I didn't want an in with your fans. So I'm at I'm at a pre-Christmas book signing at like an out of the way Barnes and Noble. Right? It's like 10 women come in the 2-hour period.
Yeah.
And this guy walks in the door. He's got a WoW T-shirt on. So and it was before I listened. I didn't know what it was, but it was the same color. I was like, I know that's from the Twitter handles. I know that's an Opie and Anthony thing. And he's got his 2 kids with him. And I'm at a very quiet Barnes and Noble. And he goes, "What's up, motherfucker?" As he screams it. And I was like, oh, God, this has changed. I have fans that are not just from Hoarders anymore.
Not old ladies. And
I ended up, after that, I was like, I got to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's the only place to do it.
I already have an idea for
great,
it.
man.
Fuck, that sounds good, man.
It's the only thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to do Hoarders anymore. I'd rather do 2 podcasts a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck their rules.
You
Let's
do
make
one a
our
week.
own rules.
I do one a week. I mean, I know. My
I
place.
find an hour.
You know, I'm a smaller market. I know my place. I'm happy. But it's a lot of money for me. One a week's fine.
I'm
Love to do
becoming
one.
a fan of a bunch of podcasts, and I find 1 hour is perfect.
They told me I got to
hour
go
a week
down.
is
I'm an hour and a
perfect.
half, and they're telling me to go down to just do 45 twice.
Yeah.
And the ad guys are like, that's fine.
I just find an hour is just
Yeah.
right. Really.
You know, like Rogan's. He
if we went in the
live
podcast
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
we would have to do a little more, but
Wait, Joe goes live like a radio show, right?
Joe basically puts his joint down, turns on the mics, and turns on the camera.
Yeah.
On
And
the,
it's
on
live.
the and on the computer you can see it.
Yeah, and he streams it live.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
yeah.
on your
How many?
stream.
Joe will go for a while though, because I've
We were
done
2.5 hours.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Rogan can
I
talk.
was
and
wasted by
his
the
was
time I walked
fun,
out
man.
of there. Wasted. I don't know what I said the last 20 minutes.
I was in LA and I'm like, I want to do your podcast or whatever. He goes, all right, let's get an audience together. And he just fucking, because he Twittered or whatever. And and all of a sudden we had like in Kevin Smith's space, we had a nice full crowd, me, him, and Red Band. It was fucking great, man.
Red
It was
Band's
fun.
awesome. He's a good dude, man.
Very
and
good.
like Jay's the same way. Jay will he's like,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
just
know.
come
I
over.
can't get on his, but I'm working on it. I have to send a tape.
I mean, it's nice that they all, they're all on different networks and they help each other out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, whatever, just come on out.
and the cameras, which we've been arguing about here forever.
Yeah.
Just being able to turn cameras on.
It's your thing. You do what the hell you want to do, man.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
It definitely opens up a.
We're probably heading in that.
lot
Does
of
Jay
options.
To be
video?
honest with you.
No.
Does Jay video?
No, he's fine doing what he likes.
He's happy doing
You'll
it?
find your
Yeah, sure.
thing that works for you. And
I
your
love
clients
the video when I do the one
Yeah.
from my house. I love the video aspect of
That
it.
gets
I could
huge.
fly in like
the downloads on that blows my mind.
yeah, it's fucking great. And I I barely do them because they're kind of
Yeah.
itchy here. But I like the video aspect of it because I could fly in video and like watch Hoarders and goof on the people and take calls and shit like that.
Do the hell
It's
you
so
wanna
much
do.
fun. Yeah.
Like, A&E finally embraced. Like they get it now. They're like, we get that we're actually gaining viewers.
Yeah.
By you doing this every week. I'm
Right.
like, I don't want any money. Like I told him, I said, let me do it, and I don't need a raise.
It really is amazing that sometimes they don't understand that.
I think they're
it's like
getting
it's
it now.
promotion.
Yeah.
Come on, what do you?
Free promotion.
Free promotion.
You don't have to pay me you actually can pay me less.
Yeah.
If I do this every week.
Fuck, we're gonna be podcasting in October.
Oh hell
Really?
yeah!
Nice.
I
We're right around the corner now.
Well, I wrote. Yeah, I was all worried because I didn't hear back from Roland, and it was Tuesday, and I wrote.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I
So I was
saw
like, oh
it.
fuck, that guy kicked off the air.
That's
Like I didn't
right.
listen to it today.
No, we were
Like
definitely-
every week. I mean, like I never know. I'm like, maybe they're on tomorrow, maybe they won't be. You know, like I don't know.
yeah, but neither do we.
Things
No,
will
I-
have to change, but yeah, we're near the end of our contract, so we might want to have to. We might have to talk to your guy.
It's amazing.
Fuck it, I don't give a fuck what they hear.
Whatever.
I mean,
We got to take care of ourselves finally.
Well, I mean, I got 2 kids and a wife. And
Yeah.
that's the 2 that matter. You know,
Podcasting.
How old are your kids?
2 and 6 months.
Oh wow.
Oh, really
Yeah.
young.
All right.
You got a 2-year-old, right?
I got a yep, 2.
we're getting
Right around the
killed.
corner, a 2-year-old.
Wow.
We're just getting killed, man. That 6-month-old was a lot harder than we thought.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking hard.
That's pretty new. I mean, that's.
And I'm on the road half. I mean,
Was the
like,
first
it's hard
one-
for me. My poor wife. I mean, she's
Wow.
getting work.
First one was easy, right?
It's totally so easy.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, as soon as you think, we could do it too. Second
Having
this will be
another
easy.
one.
No.
They always say the second one is the one.
It's
that
easy to juggle one ball at a time.
will
You know?
kill you.
I mean, it's awesome. Hearing Daddy when you walk in the door is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, tell me about it.
you get daddy every once in a while.
Every so
That's just
often.
Saturday nights. That's the only difference. It's not.
He gets daddy, I get hi, daddy.
Well, we should break. Matt, you want to stick around? I don't give a fuck.
I got a train at 11:30. I had nothing to do.
All right, so we'll
Cool,
continue with Matt Paxton. Fuck it.
Matt Paxton. 5decisionsaway.com. That's the number 5decisionsaway.com for his podcast. It's fucking people are loving it, man.
And we're back in August for Hoarders.
And Hoarders in August, new
Season
ones?
5. Yeah, I go back out in this week.
You want to take some phone calls because they were lit the entire time. They all have stories. They want to know about specific shows. I don't think we did that last time, did we?
No, I'm happy to do it.
All right, so we'll take your phone calls with Matt Paxton next.
Great, man.
Matt Paxton in studio from Hoarders, fucking killing it.
Thank you, man.
He just convinced us that we got to start podcasting immediately.
Yeah.
We might even break our contract. It's so good. Fuck waiting. Holy shit. How do we break this thing?
Keep in
so
mind,
we can get started tomorrow.
I can convince guys to clean up shit for a living, so I'm kind of a good salesman.
Yeah, you
Do
are.
remember that. Okay?
You are a good pitch man. Yeah, that's for sure. You could talk about the marriage thing.
Sure.
You said during the break that you broke off an engagement, a marriage. You were ready to get married.
We were getting presents in. Invitations were out. Like we went to not the rehearsal, but we went and picked out all the places.
How many years ago?
It's been 6 years.
But now,
and you were a month out.
We were a month out.
Oh man, how long were you engaged prior to that?
I dated the girl for 5 years. I think we were engaged for like a year.
Engaged a year.
Yeah.
A month out from the wedding, you call it off. You now a lot of people in that situation do get married.
Yeah,
they go through it and think, well, it'll work itself out, or whatever issue I'm having, or doubts, it'll go away. I'm having cold feet.
People already have their plane tickets. They're flying in.
So you're basing your whole fucking life on not upsetting other people, which
is what marriage is about, really.
Right.
At the end of the day. But
so what made you think like, wow, I don't want to get married to this person?
I knew I hadn't even started. I just started this business. Actually, I hadn't even started this business. I was still living on a buddy's couch.
Wow.
And I was just like, I'm not ready. And I was like, I know I'd love this girl, but I'm not. And not that I'm not in love with you. I was in love with her. She was awesome. But I was like, she's going to be a divorced 30-year-old. That's not fair to her, you know. Well, and I was just like, I'm out. And then I had one guy that came to me, a buddy's dad, and my dad had died, and that's a big part of my life. My dad dying, and my buddy's best friend's dad came to me. He goes, your dad's not here. Should have said this to my son when he got married. I'm saying it to you.
Wow.
He goes, do not get married. He goes, he goes, your dad would say this to you right now. He goes, do not get married. It hit it. I was like, I'm out.
Sounds like she wasn't cool with you sucking 1,000 dicks.
No.
All right,
she wasn't.
That takes a special woman.
The key for me, one time she was like, she's like, I need you to stop telling your penis jokes. They're not funny. I don't think they're funny.
She said that to you?
And I was like, I think they're hilarious. And I'm always going to think they're funny.
Could you give us one?
Wow, not on the spot. All right, here's a good. I'll do it. This is a great one from Randyland. The one in. This is the long one. Is that all right?
Yeah. I'll give a fuck.
I actually saved this one for you.
We're
for
watching
you
the clock at this point. Who
all right,
cares?
so this. Yeah. So Randyland. This is after the A&E episode. I actually shattered my right hand on that episode, and a big steel door came down and shattered it. Just this hand.
Totally broken, huh?
It wasn't broken. It was just all the tendons were shattered, and so it swelled up really bad. And it was in the middle of the show, and there was one of these freight doors on an elevator, and it had a cage that would lock, and then you shut the main door. Mm-hmm. It was about 3 inches thick of just steel. And in my mind, it was a top to bottom shutdown, but it was actually in the middle,
yeah,
right? And I just wasn't thinking, and so I went to shut it as hard as I could, and my hand was just right in the middle of it, and just shattered it. Right?
Oh, you're lucky you didn't lose your hand, Matt.
Yeah. Oh, it was awful. So, and you'll appreciate this story. So, I go to the hospital, come back. They give me some OxyContin. I'd never had OxyContin before, and they said, "Don't have a beer with it." Okay, sure. Well, one of the guys was getting married. This is his last. One of our producers. This is his last episode. He was going to go get married, and so we got to go out. We're in Wildwood, which is not a raging place, but we wanted to go to a beer, and we go get a beer. And I was like, "Well, my hand's killing me. I got to take this OxyContin." And they're like, "Don't do it with a beer." I was like, "Well, I'll just chase it at the very end." So we're walking out of the bar. I take the OxyContin. I drink it with a beer. We leave. We're walking home. Back to the hotel. Last night on the road. You got to do what you got to do. And unfortunately, my right hand didn't work anymore, so I had to go lefty. And it's a lot harder than you think to stay committed to your left hand because you always can switch back to the right. But I couldn't. My hand was shattered, so I couldn't use it. So I remember saying, I got a tennis elbow or something. My elbow was hurting, and I was like, I'm gonna have to quit. I'm not gonna make this.
Oh shit!
And I was like, literally, I was like, don't quit. You got to finish, man. And this is in the hotel. And I wake up. The next morning, I wake up. Doors knocking. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. One of my guys is here to take me to the hotel or take me to the airport. I wake up. I look around. TV's still on. Lights are on. Windows wide open. And just come all over my stomach. I clearly roofied myself, but I had no idea.
Who came on your stomach?
Hopefully me. Hopefully me. I never thought about it that way. But I fucking roofied myself.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's my best dick joke. Yeah.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
My wife
didn't like those.
I called her immediately. I was like, honey, you're never going to believe what happened.
Well, you're
I
almost
told her.
wife because you're married.
Yeah. No, this was 2 years ago. Oh, a year ago.
Wow.
So I told my now wife, and she was
wait.
like, don't tell anyone. I was like, I'm telling everybody. That's the best joke I
Wait,
got.
I'm confused. Your new wife doesn't like your dick jokes?
No, she thinks they're hilarious.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
the type
Okay.
of joke the original girl would have hated. And my wife, she gets that. Like my wife now gets that.
How did you tell her a month out you didn't want to get married? What did you actually say to her?
That's where the story gets hazy. I believe I said, I care about you. I'm not really prepared to do this. I think I probably just was like, I'm out. And just ran away and sent I think I sent an email. I think it was it wasn't done well. And I mean, there's no right way to do that.
No, that's.
And I think I did it the wrong way.
What was the thing everyone saw, obviously, that you didn't see at first?
That I wasn't myself. I just wasn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was trying to be the guy she wanted, not because I cared about her. So I wanted to be the guy she wanted, not just who I am.
Piece of garbage that you are, who likes to fall asleep with the window open and come on like it's the last scene of Cuckoo's Nest. The fucking window's open and Chief's asleep on the floor and you got to come on your stomach.
That scene is so depressing to this day. The window's open.
I know.
Ah, fuck. Wow.
This is a great commercial for Wildwood, New Jersey. It's coming up for summer, guys.
Yeah.
Get ready for Wildwood.
Wow, is that just
I've been down there.
trashy?
Oh, God. I've been to a lot of. I lived in Reno and Tahoe.
Yeah.
And Wildwood's not.
No, that's I went there
I liked it.
one summer. And,
I didn't mind it at all.
Just
because I like
trash.
people watching.
Oh, it's great people watching.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I had never been on the boardwalk before, and we went out and we were shooting there, and we just said, well, let's just walk on the boardwalk one night.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's
Some
unreal.
Some action.
Oh my God! No, just the people watching. I mean, the volume and the intensity of the people.
The people that are there are just a weird range.
I mean, good
of-
people. Don't
of
get me
people.
wrong. Yeah, they're just out there.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those guys will do anything for you, but I mean,
You can say it. A lot of them look inbred.
yeah. I mean, it's different.
You could say it.
It's a different place.
Yeah,
Do
it
you
is
see?
a-
You
quite
don't
a
see many
different-
black hoarders. Why is it? It's
Call
most
them
of
Blorders. That's a Jay Moore joke.
Why are most of them white? Is it just a statistic?
People ask me this a lot.
Thing?
People think it's all just old white cat ladies, and it's not. We're seeing more. It's just that I tend to see stronger, and this is people I've gotten in trouble for this. Stronger family structures don't allow the hoarding to happen, and so you tend to see I don't see a whole lot of Latino hoarders. I know they're out there. I've had a couple, but they typically have multi-generations in the home, and they're more focused on family. And so they deal with the issue that causes hoarding. I mean, hoarding is a mental disorder.
Because they need all the space for everybody.
It is what it is. I mean, it's not a racist thing. It's a fact that, I mean, the stronger family structures tend to deal with the issues, the mental issues that cause hoarding, so it just doesn't happen as much.
They're more honest with each other. They don't fucking, a black family sees you bringing home fucking a bunch of things. Like, get that shit out of the house, you fuck. Maybe not in that language, but.
No, that's pretty. I mean, I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, that's pretty much it, and it just doesn't happen. I mean,
the people that are so enabling, the husbands that just allow this to happen, they seem to have a problem too.
It's always 50-50. It's never. Anytime they come in and say, "My wife's a hoarder, I'm just surviving," he's a hoarder too, man. But he's also in survival mode. I mean,
it seems like they gave up trying to get their wives to not do this, and they're just kind of, well, I'm here. She collects things. She goes shopping. She does this, and then they try to throw something away. I tried. She just grabbed it.
I had one guy in Hawaii that lived in his car. His wife had filled the house to the point where he literally lived in the car.
Wow,
and I point blank asked him. I was like, "Dude, how did you let it get this bad?" And he goes, "Man, I married her for." I was like, "Why don't you just leave?" And he goes, "I married her for good and bad." He goes, "We had our good, and I'm in my bad.
This is
and
the bad. Great."
He goes, "Now I'd rather just live it out, man." And I mean, he just lived in the car and he'd go to the library all day.
Oh,
and he found joy in just hiding out in the library. Like that was his.
Where do they take shits?
I don't know. Not in that. It wasn't in that. That house was
glove
so.
box.
Usually it's I mean, I found a lady the other day. Lady had shit in a Target bag and then put it in the oven.
In the oven.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Let's go to the phones. We got
That's amazing.
We got a call from Germany.
Wow.
Steve, what part of
Speaking
Germany?
shit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm out in Dresden, East
funny.
Germany.
I'm hoarding stolen artwork. Sorry, it's a German joke.
Hey, Jimmy, I actually email you from time to time about Germany. Thanks for keeping up with the reputation of the U.S. when Europe shits on them.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
I couldn't tell if he meant that seriously or if he hates me.
No, I love you, Jimmy.
Thank you,
Anyway,
bud.
you're the only reason why I don't kill myself every day.
Jesus, boy, you're really betting on a losing horse, my friend. If I'm the thing that's keeping you going, you don't have much time left. Good luck to you.
How much Germany sucks then. Anyway, I wanted to know if Matt knows any updates about that Hoarders guy, Roy, who claims that he, invented all this shit, like the propulsion units for the for NASA spaceships.
Oh, right. I remember him.
Yeah,
Yeah, and did anyone tell him he was full of shit?
we did. Yes, we did. It is.
For the people that didn't see the episode,
Okay. So this guy was he was a fascinating guy. He lived out in the woods in California, where the redwoods forest, all that stuff. Fascinating guy. What a hoarder happens, they tend to get these ideas in their head and they believe them as truth.
Yeah.
They may or may not be a fact, but in their head, it's truth. So I always say perception's reality. So this guy believed that he had invented everything. I think he was a pretty intelligent scientist. I don't know that he had invented all these things that he thought he had. I can tell you he is going to be on an update, so I can't tell you how he is. We are trying to do more updates this year.
I like the update. Yeah.
We're going to do a lot more of those. But I will tell you, yes, we did let him know we thought he was full of shit. And believe it or not, for a hoarder like that, when someone finally confronts him and calls him on it, it's actually good. They dig it. Now
really?
Because people just let them do what they want to do just to get away. Most of hoarders, if you call them on their shit, they're happy.
Are you aware that some of the hoarders are so annoying and repulsive to the viewer that at the end we kind of like seeing that they failed and did lose the house and did fucking like.
I almost always root for the house to go.
Yes.
Except when they want the help and they're gracious. I have such a dislike of so many of them. And maybe I shouldn't as a recovering person, but I really do.
I mean, I always say the more you hate the hoarder, the more compassion they really need. Like the ones you hate the most are the ones that are the most fucked up. And we can't always tell the depths of those stories.
I cheered when you went downstairs and those joists were all busted up.
That guy was Roy. I love that guy.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That house was insane. It was
crazy.
This guy's house. It was a basement full of stuff, and we went in and it was like that trash compactor in Star Wars.
with
the floating boxes and water and everything. And and the boxes were all the way to the roof, and we pull all the boxes out and they're floating. And then all of a sudden, we're about, waist high, and me and a camera guy are in the water with waders on. And then all of a sudden, we look up, and the joints, I mean, these are 2x8s, doubled up, and they're split. And they're hanging, dipping into the water all the way across the house.
Wow. Because of the weight of the hoard
stuff above it.
Wow.
And I can hear everybody, the crew, and everybody walking upstairs.
Yeah, you came upstairs
get the fuck out right now, man. That house was just going to implode on itself.
Have you seen a house that has imploded on itself?
I've never seen. Usually, the stuff holds it up. To be honest, I mean, a good hoard is really structurally pretty solid. I will say this last season got really. I mean, I'm like the hoarder. I do the worst of the worst, and so I had 4 in a row that had to be demolished.
Wow, man!
I had one that we couldn't bulldoze it. We actually have to control burn it because it was too messy to get into the ground.
What was in it?
Cats and feces and just
Did you film that one?
Oh yeah, it was a good one.
So you couldn't bulldoze it?
We couldn't. It was too close to the Chesapeake Bay, so it was the runoff from that would have been too dangerous.
Do you film the private ones for your own collection or anything?
No, I mean,
little camcorder, your phone.
I see it enough every day. I don't really want to know it. I do use their stories. I mean, in the book, and I need good stories. That's how I make my living now, telling stories. So I have the rights to tell their stories.
Right.
But I changed the names.
Do you see, have you seen big nests of mice?
Oh, this Oakland one.
Jimmy's questions are so adorable. It's like a little kid.
Wow.
You see big nests of mice.
Big nests of mice.
We had a rat's nest in Oakland, and this is in the book. People love this one. It was in Oakland. It was about 8 foot wide, about 6 foot high. And you can see, and you can see all the holes where the rats were going in. And here was the worst part. We learned that week that rats don't eat money. So we could see folded bills and crinkled bills all throughout this rat's nest.
Oh, shit.
And we're like, shit, that's money. And so we're going, but we don't know if the rats are in there or not. And so we're like, inch by inch. We're like grabbing $1, and then we'd like take a broomstick and poke in there.
Wow, it's like a game,
and, oh, it was awesome. I mean, as far as like a rush, because you didn't know if a fucking rat was going to come out, and you're getting money.
Is it really
if
worth
there'd been
it?
naked girls, that'd have been the best thing for me in the world.
You just came up with our next radio bit.
God, it was awesome. It was awesome.
How much money was it?
$13,000.
No.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
Why so much?
She would take a 20, and she would go to the store, buy us at the dollar store, and then just throw the change in a plastic bag, and then she'd throw the bag in the corner. So for her, it was not about the cash or the item; it was about the consumption.
Why didn't she save the money to consume more?
Didn't she? I mean, money didn't matter. It was just she
money's
needed
weird.
that rush.
It doesn't matter to these
I said
people.
today, it's kind of like when you do. Actually called in to Ron and Fez today because I love listening to those guys in the afternoon when I'm driving around, and they were talking about sex addictions, and it's the same thing with these hoarders. It's not about the stuff. It's about they need to feel better about themselves, and the going and buying something makes them feel good. It's the act of buying, consuming that brings them happiness, not whatever they actually bought.
I'm fascinated when so a lot of times a woman hoarder will have bags of stuff stacked up on the sides and a little path in the middle. And you notice whenever they're walking through it, they have to fiddle with it. They have to look in bags as they're crawling through. They need to touch it and look and see what's in there and put it in somewhere else. And they're constantly adjusting their hoard.
That's when the therapist is really important. We always have a therapist on, in the hoard with us, and that's like there's something about the touch. Some of the hoarders need to actually physically touch it.
Yeah, it's so odd. It's just and again, you see some of the same behaviors in so many of these people. It's like it's not just a coincidence.
It has to be something.
This
Right.
is what it is.
And the thing is, we're still learning that it's a new disease. I mean, I always say it's like the next alcoholism. Like you got a buddy that's an alcoholic. You're like, good for you, buddy. Good for you for getting help. And now it's like we're starting to get where people are still like, oh wow, you're a hoarder, you're a freak. But at least, like, even you realize now, okay, I don't buy it, but I know that there's a disorder.
Oh, I know there's a disorder, but I despise them. Because they just seem so selfish, and the family doesn't matter. Oh, really?
Yeah, some of that's editing. I mean, it is TV, and that's a challenge we have. I mean, this is a mental disorder as entertainment.
Yeah,
there is a challenge there.
When the kids are involved, though, that's where it seems
I don't do
like,
those anymore. They pulled me out of
God
those.
damn, man.
Don't you hate them when they?
Because I get really angry. They pulled me out. Like,
no shit.
I can't handle that. That doesn't. Now that
It's like, what are you doing?
When I started this, I was single and had no kids.
Right.
So I didn't care.
Yeah.
But now that I got a kid, it's like, wait a minute. Like, how the fuck could you do this? So I totally forget that they're sick.
I was talking about how easy bagging a hoarder's daughter would be. Like, it's just got to be so easy. Just give them a clean room. Hey, come over the house, a shower, someplace they could just, like, play fucking Xbox.
Have you seen bed bugs?
Oh.
A lot of them, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen bed bugs?
I saw bed bugs riding on the back of a roach one time. I'm kidding. I just know you like riding roaches. Now, the bed bugs, you can't see them. But they're really bad. I mean, they'll
little
just,
dots all over the bed.
That family in Boston, that's why we were there, because the kids couldn't even get into the house because of the bed bugs.
Matt, you brought up something there. Like, having a kid changes how you look at things.
Everything.
And that sucks.
Everything. I got so angry. I mean,
I'm surprised how
I used to think Chip was hilarious. Not anymore.
Yeah?
I
Why don't
turned
you
it
just
down
go get a bunch of bugs on you or something?
You mean Uncle Paul or Chip?
Or Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul is
Paul.
hilarious, and then it gets, oh, wait, this is uncomfortable, because this could be my son. You turn it down.
Yeah,
that's because when you was young, I used to take good care of you, Matty.
Oh, Jesus.
He used to hoard my kisses on your neck.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
I mean, Uncle Paul. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it is disturbing. We find it disturbing too. I find it disturbing, and I don't have kids.
Well, it's supposed to be an unpleasant man. He's an unpleasant man.
We had an Uncle Paul hoarder. The guy.
Oh,
what was he hoarding?
Child porn.
Oh, wow.
And it was really aggressive.
There were mice living in it. There were mice.
I mean, like Polaroids.
God, old school.
And I remember, everyone's taking a picture of their dick with their cell phone. Like, but could you imagine trying to do it with a Polaroid? Like trying to, and then and the thing pulling out and having to like shake the Polaroid. And this guy had a bunch of Polaroids with kids. And we ended up having to call the cops.
Yeah.
But wait, he knew you. Why didn't he hide the stuff?
Same thing. I mean, to get into a mental world. And this guy was in the hospital, and family hired us to come clean it up.
Oh, he wasn't.
And I don't know if he knew we were coming in, but the family did. And then we ended up, called the cops. He ended up going to jail, and he did like 3 years. And he came out, filled the house again, called us.
With kitty porn or no?
I don't know. He called us and asked us to come clean it. And I was like, Dude, you should still be in jail. I'm not going to clean your house, man. Why would you fucking call the guys that sent you to jail?
That's sent you to jail.
Only 3 years for that?
An ulterior motive.
What the fuck's wrong
Yeah,
with us?
I know.
Let's say hi to Steve in Milwaukee. Steve.
Yes.
We got, by the way, Matt Paxton for the people checking in from Hoarders. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, I'm a cop in the city of Milwaukee, and the other year I got sent to a house to check on a lady that hadn't been seen in a couple of days. Got through, the house was just packed with crap. I got in, started yelling, somebody's screaming for me. I'm like, what the hell? Started crawling over. I had to crawl up this crap, and I was all the way halfway through the house. All of a sudden, the crap moved, and this lady was there. And what she got so succumbed or taken over by the stuff she had, it trapped her in the house. I got her out of the house. The fire department comes, and the heroes that they are, they run into the building. And as soon as they run into the building, they double back out, and they said, who went in there? I said, I did. Next thing I know, I'm getting taken out of the ambulance. There was so much methane in the house.
Yeah.
They were all worried that I was going to die from everything.
Wow.
Yeah, he's totally right. I take a methane reader in there now. Fire department gave it to me.
What's the methane from?
From cat piss.
Cat piss.
Yeah, cat piss, and plus there's there were mice everywhere. There were little burrows for mice.
Holy
And
shit.
that was for them going.
And if he's totally right. If it's enclosed and it's sealed properly, the methane is so dangerous that the house could blow
up
immediately
from cat piss.
Yeah. And the cat piss, the smell of the cat piss, as this guy will know, it'll overpower. You don't smell a dead body because the cat piss is so strong.
Cat piss is crazy strong. Yeah.
Now, there's so many stories coming in. How many houses are out there?
In
this condition?
Hundreds of. Well, you only see the stage 4 and stage 5 on Hoarders.
All right, let's go with stage 4 or 5.
Yeah.
How many of those type houses are out there?
Tens, 20, 30,000
easily, right?
I'd say it's 5 to 10%. People say it's 5% now. I've heard as high as 10 in America. All of us,
You need to come to Milwaukee and just do a ride along with the cops. I could take you so many places.
Well, cops and firemen, they see it every day, man. These guys see it everywhere. And they go into the houses, man.
Yeah.
I heard Shirley Feeney is a very big hoarder out there. Is that true? Or Laverne DeFazio is hoarding L's.
That's all Jimmy knows about Milwaukee
is L's.
Laverne and Shirley.
It's the letter L.
The Schatz Brewery.
Hey, what about Dahmer's house? Is that thing still standing?
No, they knocked that.
No, they knocked that down.
What's in its place?
Restaurant.
A restaurant. Huh?
I don't think there's anything there right now.
Yeah, it would have to be an empty lot. You couldn't just build something else there.
Fuddruckers.
Because of
You gotta pick which meat you want for the burger.
Because of the gawkers, they took it down.
The city wants to put something there, I think, now,
yeah.
where that house was. And then there's the chocolate factory where you work. That's gone. Everything's gone. Welcome to Milwaukee, the land of women with...
God, that's the only reason to go to Milwaukee, to go check out some Dahmer shit.
Yeah, people, they just kept
no
stopping
offense
by.
to Milwaukee, but... Jimmy, have you ever been to Milwaukee to do
I have
comedy?
not, no, and I have a big Brewers collection of hats I want to get rid of.
Do ya?
I would like to go to Milwaukee.
Yeah, we have the largest music festival in the world every year. It's a good party.
What's it called?
Why haven't anyone heard of it?
Summerfest.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
Every
you should have
town
heard
has
of
a
it.
Summerfest.
Huh?
They used to have Summerfest in Rochester.
Summerfest here is rock.
All right.
All the German people. Women with...
All right, we'll have to check on it.
God bless you.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
We got a New York City cop wants in badly. It's Matt the cop. Matt.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hello, Matt.
All right, buddy.
Oh, my God. I agree with Matt 100% about the mold and stuff like that. I did a search warrant one time, and I walked into a house. Every drawer filled with, chicken bones, mold everywhere, and a mattress falling through a hole in the ceiling, all mold, rotted out. Ridiculous.
Yeah, the mattresses are disgusting. When you watch the guys hauling them out of some of these houses, it's like, that is just a Picasso painting.
There's a kid in there, too.
Oh.
But I just want to say I love the show, guys. And
of course you do.
I'll be down occupying later. So.
An Occupy?
Hey, Matt.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Can you find out if that guy died? I started the show with it.
Oh, geez.
I'm obsessed. I saw it looked like a heart attack victim on 67th and Columbus. They were working on him hard for a long time. They finally got a pulse and dragged him out of there. I just need to know if the guy made it.
I have no idea. I'm in Queens.
All right.
I'll look into that.
I'm desperate. I'm telling you.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Be safe.
All right.
Thanks, Matt.
I don't know why I need to know, but it was so damn depressing last night. 100 people Not a word spoken. Everyone just staring like, holy fuck, is this really happening right here? Looked like a movie set.
People are gawkers.
Why, Jimmy? Why do you have a shampoo bottle?
I know.
Because I hoard things with Dove on them. No,
this a new
because
sponsor or something?
we got Shaquille O'Neal on Tuesday, and he's promoting this product line. So they actually sent a deodorant which smells good, has not been used. So how clean that is.
Yeah, it smells good in the body face wash.
And I'm going to
It
try.
does smell good.
It does smell really nice.
Dove products are great.
So I'll use this stuff actually. So when Shaq
Our
comes
sponsor
in,
for our podcast starting next week.
yeah. Welcome aboard, Shaq. So you washing with this stuff? Tell us about it.
What if we didn't show up, lad?
That's good.
Time to start.
What if we didn't show up next week and just start podcast?
No one would notice.
How long would it take for them
Well,
to
how
go?
many listeners do you guys have?
About
They
1,500.
They refuse to tell us.
You don't know.
I could not tell you how many people listen to the show.
Well,
They don't want us to know
It is weird.
because then that would.
Well, I will tell you
would
the
help
number.
our cause.
He wrote one tweet about me, and I got 7,000 downloads.
That's great.
So that tells you. And I'm not.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
they refuse to tell us. I
That's
would love to
cool.
know just for the shits and giggles
Yeah.
of it.
in the one night.
We like to
during a Hoarders
think
episode.
we like to think we talk to over 1 million a week. But
I would think so.
I don't know. I have no idea. It could be 200,000. I have no idea.
I mean, I know Corolla's doing like 400,000 a day. Downloads.
Podcasting.
Is he a day?
A day now.
That's
he does
amazing.
daily.
That's amazing.
So he's over 2 million a week.
Wow.
But like that's, I mean, I was thinking what I was telling Rolly. I mean, I was supposed to go on Leno a couple weeks ago, and A&E ended up pulling it because it was the end of the season. They're like, we'll save it for the premiere, and I was like, that's fine, whatever. And they were like, well, we're not going to pay for your LA trip, and I was like, well, I still got to go because I was doing Sklar Brothers and More Stories and Rogan and all these podcasts. And my wife's like, are you sure it's going to be, you got to pay for it now. It's our cost. And I was like, I'll get twice the lift by going on these podcasts than I would on Leno.
But what a bad job by A&E to not see that. Like, they don't understand how important radio
They're supporting it
and
now.
podcasts
They are now.
Okay.
They are supporting it now. Not financially, but they're allowing me to do the things. And they could say no, and I'd have to respect it.
That's exactly the situation.
They've said no to very few things.
Cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that network used to be and what it is now, it's like night and day, man.
We're Duck Dynasty's our new. That's all we're doing, man. It's all about the Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty. Some of the new shows are like, wait a minute. I don't understand how like True TV has fucking 10 towing shows. And they're all badly scripted. And
I did a couple pilots for A&E.
Yeah,
they released them. They didn't want them, and the production company's like, "Well, we're gonna go to True." I was like, "Don't."
No,
I would rather just not be on TV. Do not go to True TV. I was like, "Please."
Those towing shows are terrible. Yeah. And there's so many of them, and they're
so
all
scripted.
just, so badly scripted. It's like, obviously, the cameraman is still there. They're watching the car screech away, and the person's yelling and shooting at the car that they repoed, and like the cameraman is still there, and the guy with the gun isn't acknowledging the cameraman is still there.
I mean, so
like, come on.
That being
alone.
said, you still watch it and you don't turn it off. They're clearly getting the numbers.
I don't. Well, apparently, yeah. And then I know there was like Meteor Man, which is the two guys looking for meteors with the metal detectors and whatnot. Then there was just a show. Fuck the meteors, which kind of made it a little interesting. Just two guys with metal detectors walking around and trying to find shit. It's like that's dull to do. Never mind watching people do it.
We got stuck in that hole. Everybody wanted us to, because we do find really cool stuff.
Yeah,
in the houses we clean. So we had all these pilots they wanted us to do for to try to be like the pawn shop store.
Oh, right, where you find something,
they
see what
wanted
it's
us
worth.
to go sell this, and we do sell the stuff for people when they need the money.
Yeah.
But I mean, we find amazing things.
The question is this, though: have you found something that would have been amazing, but these assholes allowed it to fucking rot?
Oh, heck yeah! We found the Batmobile in a guy's yard the other day. He had a Batmobile from one of the movies, and it was disgustingly rusted. And I mean, he's like, "It's worth $50,000." I was like, "It was 10 years ago."
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was an old '56 Cadillac that they cut it down and modified it into the Batmobile. Fascinating.
You find old baseball cards?
We do. We had a guy that had really good cards, and it was the only thing we could sell for him.
Really?
And he got a couple
with
I think
mice.
like $20,000.
Pete in Jersey. You got Matt Paxton in studio. What's up, Pete?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Speaker off here. Yeah, my father used to rent a little 3-bedroom house to an old veteran. He actually filled it up with newspapers and crap. He was paying rent and living on the front porch.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's
And he seems to collect in themes, too, around the house. He had golf clubs and bicycles.
Ugh.
Anything he could find in the garbage, he would just old bicycles and...
What fucking idiots.
Well, believe it or not, actually, it's like a archaeological dig. That was actually periods of his life is what he was when you say themes. And so we actually will see like you go in there and just pull a magazine out of the bottom of the pile and be like, what happened in January 1981? And then that's where you start to piece the puzzle together, and then you'll see like a whole line of like, okay, for 2 years he really dug music, and so I think the best you'll find the best albums, in that pile, and then you see the next layer was toy trains, and then the next, you'll actually be able to figure out their life by looking at what all those things.
See,
were.
I absolutely can relate to that, but I just didn't go to that extreme. But I absolutely get those fucking click obsessions where you go, ding, now it's this. Click, now it's that, and it changes.
Like video games, and then you're gonna have comic books, and then you're gonna women, and all types of stuff.
I don't understand if the house is filled to the point you're now living on the porch that doesn't click something in your head finally. That
it's gradual.
At least you clean out maybe a tiny part of the house so you could still at least live in there. I don't get it.
Well, to add to the story, we sold the house, as is, of course, and the new owner actually padlocked the guy out of the house, and we actually had New Jersey News down there because it was a World War veteran locked out of his house. And they came, and the landlord actually just went to the front door. He goes, let me just show you one thing. He opened the door 6 inches, and that's the end of the story. Done.
I got to get in some of these houses.
They just realized that it's not his fault that he locked the door. You know what I mean? This guy.
Yeah, you can't open the door.
Yeah, we're doing this, Matt. We're going on one of your
I'll find a
private jobs. All right, thanks, Pete.
We had one we couldn't. Like he's saying, you couldn't even open the door. We had to go in the second floor window.
Yeah,
and you had to dig a hole to get down to the.
I love the polite entrance you guys do too, where it's like
Hello.
like just it's like this little like you're walking into Leave It to Beaver house.
It's like sitcom entrance.
Yeah, hello. Oh, hi.
That has been scrapped for the new season.
Has it?
Yes, we have a lot of changes. We have a lot of changes this year.
So you walk in and go, what the fuck?
You just wail him right in the face right at the beginning.
Dr. Zazia will do that. I mean, she's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah, we love her. She's great.
I think she's attracted to me.
I think she is, actually. I did listen to that one.
Until
you told her you had a sex addiction, and then she totally backed up. She's a fun girl. She's
she was a piss. We were riding down in the elevator on the way out one day, and she was telling me some like cool little behind the scenes shit of how annoyed she gets with some of these people, and she has to walk off for a little while.
She has to go in the trailer because she really gets frustrated.
She gets pissed.
She gets very frustrated.
She's sassy.
You ever see a swimming pool filled with shit? Why isn't it? You don't
usually it's inside.
Yeah, thank you. You don't see a lot of backyards.
I did had a really cool, interesting hoard one time. The guy, it's in my hometown. In fact, this guy is probably the reason I'm on Hoarders. They were looking for houses to clean. They weren't looking for talent,
right?
And so they were going to give me $200 for like a site selection. And at that point, I was like, "That's a lot of money. I'll do it."
Yeah.
And so I drove him around the city to 5 houses, and the last one was this guy. He has a bunch of airplanes in his basement. He would dry meat out on the planes, so like on the wings. So he had drying, rotting meat on the wings, and he had called ahead, and actually he knew that I was the only guy certified to clean in our city, and so he knew that if he got busted, he'd have to let me in the house. So he actually got a restraining order put against me.
Holy shit!
Very smart guy. So
wow.
I never met him. The restraining order was not processed yet. It was just they were waiting for it to happen, so it meant I couldn't come on the property.
Don't you need a reason though? What was his?
No, to file it you don't. Wow. To get it enforced, you do.
Right.
But it was in that leeway in the middle, so I couldn't go on the grass until it got fully done. So he was smart. So I always would come by and just check on him, but I had to stay outside. This guy was so smart that he would literally and he would fill the house just full, and then he had like nice bushes and stuff, and so he would fill behind the bushes with like pizza boxes. He really loved Little Caesars, so he would go to Little Caesars and they'd give him all the leftover pizza and stuff. So he would have, you couldn't see it looking from the road, looking at the house, it looked normal. If you went on the front porch and looked back, all the bushes, you would see pizza boxes and tomato sauce cans packed as high. You couldn't see the bushes, and he would just hide them behind the bushes.
Let me correct you. He wasn't smart. He was an absolute asshole. You know who's smart? You, because you weren't on the front lawn, and you went home to a nice chick and clean house.
I took the producers there, and I was like, this guy's got the messiest home, and I knew he liked women. and there's this young, beautiful blonde producer. And I took her over there, and I was like, here's the deal. I'm not allowed to go on the front lawn, but this is a really messy house. And I knew at that point they were hooked.
Yeah,
and they were like, we need you in Alabama on Friday.
So wait, did they get into his house?
Yeah, she was in there in 5 seconds. It was a hot little blonde. I mean, he's like, come on in.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen people hoard besides the dumb shit like cat and you know what I mean, like some like Kleenex boxes, or you know what I mean, like an actual thing?
Yeah,
instead of the dirty shit.
They probably don't have them here. The newspaper bags, when people down in the South, they'll put a newspaper. The delivery boy will put a
little plastic
newspaper in a
bag.
little plastic bag.
Right.
I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of those bags saved up. The one that everybody takes is, of course, the ketchup packets and the napkins. And you can see, I mean, good Lord, if people just didn't take the extra things from McDonald's, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you see, hundreds of thousands of like creamers and ketchup packets and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I mean, it'll be a whole room filled with the stuff. The toilet paper rolls.
Right,
that's a big one.
For what?
For crafts. Crafting is that's my when I lose it.
Crafting is the excuse.
Yeah.
Huh?
We had a lady that she had an entire house full of yarn. She was 85 years old. And I was trying to, stupid me to always still try to reason with them. And we did the math, and I put it out on a spreadsheet. And I was like, okay, you're 85. How many reams of yarn is it to do one blanket? And she's like, 15. And I was like, she had like 5,000 or 6,000 reams of this yarn. And I was like, okay. And we did the math, and I was like, so if you do one a month, and she's like, it takes about a month. It's like, so one a month, you have to be 185 years old
to use all
the yarn that you existing have. I was like, can we give some away? And she's like, no.
You should have fucking just pushed her in the yarn room and set it on fire.
Yeah, that house.
That'll go up fast.
We finally, with that family, we just had to say, you got to just let your mom die. Like, she's not going to change.
Wow, that's just
stop. You got to let go of it emotionally and just let
Was
her die.
she a bitch?
No, she was actually a sweetheart, man. The old ladies, they're nice. They're just, the dudes are the assholes. Like, I basically, I can't think of one guy that I successfully helped.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious.
I mean,
stubborn.
Man, I'm trying to think because they're stubborn and they have ego, and that I can't beat that. And a girl's willing to. I always say this: a girl is willing to hit rock bottom. A guy will let the ego get in the way, so he never actually hits rock bottom. But a girl will get so depressed and so sad, she allows herself to hit rock bottom, and then that's when I can help him. If you haven't hit rock bottom, I can't help.
Or to acknowledge they're at rock bottom, right?
They'll drop the ego. If you don't hit rock bottom, I cannot help you.
Milwaukee's killing us. It is the biggest music festival, supposedly.
Is it?
Everyone from Milwaukee saying it is. Assholes.
Of course they are.
Summerfest is the biggest.
They've been
music
selling that
festival
lie for years
in the country.
Both of those guys from Milwaukee said it was the
There's
biggest.
a few. All right.
Wow.
I think we should start our weekends. Fuck
Hell
it.
yeah.
Fuck this
I'm
shit.
ready.
And
5decisionsaway.com is the podcast that Matt Paxton does every week. I'm going to start downloading it.
I can dig it, man.
I'm a podcasting fan.
Number
now.
5, decisionsaway.com. Check it out. Great stories, man.
Hey, thank you, guys.
What a life.
I'm a lucky dude, man. I love it.
And you're what on Twitter again?
At Clutter Cleaner.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure you used your real name as well.
No, hell no.
Hell fucking no. Clutter Cleaner on
At
Twitter.
Clutter
Yes.
Cleaner.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually, I didn't even realize I took
follow
it
you.
home, but I got one of the shirts.
Yeah, man. I
So,
gave you guys your Clutter
Yeah,
Cleaner
yeah.
shirts.
So it's my wear it around the house shirt. When
it.
Hoarders is on, I put it on. I
love it.
I tweeted a picture of myself like, all right, I'm ready.
I love it.
I'm ready.
Now you're the only. That's our Clutter Cleaner road crew shirt, and that means that you had to have spent time in prison. So you're the only. You guys are the only
damn.
guys that haven't actually earned that shirt. Like,
Oh
you gotta.
shit!
I don't have one. I would like one. Actually, I would like a lot of them. I'd like to start hoarding Clutter Cleaner shirts.
Wouldn't that be
have a lady-
ironic?
We were selling T-shirts on our website, and a lady tried to order 10, and I had to tell her no. I was like, I know you're gonna hoard these things. I was like, I'll only sell you one.
Yeah, but take advantage of that.
I
Fuck it.
can't, man. I can't.
Hoarders can't just buy one.
I can't. I'm actually going. I'm going to sell some stuff on HSN for these cleaning products. And our biggest thing was I was like, I have to be able to tell them to buy responsibly. Like, you can't buy because some of those guys will just go crazy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was on our contract. It was a really hard thing to get
Wow.
hammered in.
Jimmy loves hoarding farts on this show. You got anything for us?
I do.
Do you have any type of
But I
cleaning
like to
product?
share them.
I wish he hoarded
Dove
them.
men's care. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that'll
yeah,
help
just
it.
Wipe your
Just
asshole
wipe it on.
with
Run
Shaq's,
this fucking men
Dove
care
men
in your
care.
ass crack. Yeah.
Have you seen that ball deodorant that's supposed to rub on your balls?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I
That's awesome.
I proposed the onion scent. It was not popular at all.
I mean, no pun intended. Think of the balls it took to get that
Yeah.
produced at a store. I mean, think of how hard it is to get your good bits
To pitch
put through.
the idea.
Yeah.
It's like,
Say,
look.
no, we're gonna have ball deodorant. It's
Yeah.
gonna sell really
Just
well.
for your balls.
All right. Jimmy?
Yes, tonight, Uncle Vinny's, the late show. There might be tickets available. The other 3 are all sold. And Caroline's next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday might be sold out. It's selling well, though. I'm happy.
Yeah, okay. That's it, I guess.
Yes, it
have a
is.
good weekend. We're going to start podcasting Monday. And I think that's it, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Hey,
Matt
thank you
Paxton.
guys for having me, man.
Great
Have
having
a
you.
great appearance.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.